obviously very exciting. I mean, the students actually probably for the first time in their life, are dealing with something that's potentially going to happen somewhere out there, you know, in reality. So there's really kind of palpable degree of excitement. The architecture studio is obviously different projects, and for the most part they tend to be imaginary. In this case it's very real, and so there is a promise of kind of this validation of your sort of time and effort put in, right? So there's a kind of a one-to-one thing, and that's actually, to be honest, that's the only reason to be an architect.
Being an architecture student, a lot of us really don't get that hands-on experience. I mean, we have model making, we have drawing, and you could call those hands-on, but there's a certain global perspective that's lacking in a lot of study, and I think here at Cornell, this experience will benefit us in a way that will affect us for the rest of our lives.
It's a really unique experience because so many people graduate architecture school with this very theoretical resume, but not many people can point to a building and say, I helped design that and it was built. So what an amazing opportunity. It's
at the moment of this kind of elation of being able to sort of sense and realize and understand and touch and walk something that you have somehow dreamed up on or helped others do. I mean, that's elation right there. Educationally speaking, I think it's great too, because you know, you deal with actually real clients, even though remotely, even though we don't get to go there. I mean, that would be great, but you know, it's exactly not easy to put 60 students on a bus to South Africa. So the point is that there are some people out there who are kind of alive and breathing, and they have sort of, you know, lives and sort of daily routines, all these things. And we as architects are supposed to respond to that.
The most refreshing thing about it is that in all our history classes, we learn about history in Europe and in America, and by these famous architects who you see in history books, but this is something completely different and new to all of us. Our studies now is helping to broaden my ideas to what I can do later in architecture and how I can help people and cultures.
It's a service profession ultimately, right? I mean, that's the big aspect of this thing that maybe in an architecture school gets sort of overlooked, and then you get hit with it when you get out of here. It's really great for education of these guys, because I mean that basically is the first glimpse into the profession, the way it's sort of set up.
Well, architecture can often fall into a trap of being very isolated and very self-righteous maybe. So it's nice to have architecture that also has a humanitarian purpose.
Right now we have 60 projects, right? At some point in 2 weeks' time we're going to have 20 projects. You know, in another 3 or 4 weeks we're going to have, I don't know, 10 projects. And I'm kind of looking forward to that, to be honest. This is going to be the moment where, like I said, the kind of where educational mission and the real life mission will start tangling.
Well, I honestly cannot wait to see the final design, and I think mostly because our final design is going to come from a collaboration of students. We're all initially starting this design phase working individually, and from this individual design, we then group up, and eventually we'll be working on this as one giant studio. And it's very exciting to think that together with 58 of my peers, I'm going to be able to produce a building that hopefully this summer I'll get to go and help build.
It's very refreshing to hear news from other teams and other groups that are involved with this project, and get news from both Alex and from other studio members about how all of these issues are going to be resolved and how the logistics are going to be planned out in the end. And with each coming day, especially with the meeting we had with the professor on Friday from South Africa, it's becoming more and more clear and more vivid in our minds that this project is going to be built and this project is going to be possible.
The principle is actually quite beautiful, right? And you have the fulfillment of the kind of aspirations of a bunch of students in the process of education.